This deck is amazing. It is very, very useful. But everything is expensive. The thing that makes this deck successful is you need to use your armor to push the front line. This included too. You need to use your armor to push the front line and then use your very powerful infantry to hold it. That you can then also get up there speedily and stealthily with some IFVs for fire support. And you can do a little bit. You can do a little bit of protecting yourself from planes. And you can counter their SAM nets and their artillery. You absolutely cannot do two of those things at once. And if you get caught doing it, that's what's going to happen to you because you don't have the economy to do it both well. So you can either push the front line, or you can protect yourself from Shorad, along with also coincidentally, because it's just an extra 185 points at the end of the day, put up some Pack 2s so that you can stop the air power too. Because if you are doing that, you are going to get countered by planes, as I mentioned in my masterclass. You're going to have helicopters come after you, and you're going to have planes come after you. So if you're doing this alone, you're going to fail. If you have some teammates that have proper AA up and it stays alive the entire time, they're not putting it too close, it's in a proper view of those other planes and of the planes coming in and the Russian players, or if you're in a mirror match, same thing can be done with the US too. And if the US don't full on spam you, which can happen if it's the difference between a win and a loss, and you're doing the thing that you should do with armor, which is push objectives, especially towards the end, to keep them captured so that your team wins at the very end. And if they have the points floated to be able to buy planes, they're going to get through anyway. They will get through anyway, especially if they're the United States, because they'll have stealth. So it actually makes it even worse. You can't do everything at the same time. So if you are a solo player, it is extremely difficult to play against a competent team with this deck because they're going to know your weaknesses and they're going to manipulate them. Whether they manipulate them at the very start, whether they slow burn you for the entire game, or just, let you think that you're doing okay and then slit your throat at the end, is up to that team that you're playing against. But when you actually understand the way that the game flows and how it works, you have an off switch, and I just showed it. You have an off switch, and realistically, what makes it hurt even more is the more successful that you are, the more likely that they push that off switch. Because the more points per tick that they get, and all they need to do is push one button and they have all those helicopters. Push one button and they have those planes. They don't need to establish a front line to stop you. They don't need to call out units. They don't need to call out their own SHORAD. They just need to call out helicopters and planes, which can be done in an instant. And they can get there much faster than you. So one mistake with any of your SHORAD, you're dead. You're gone. And there's nothing that your team can do to stop you. So the more successful that you are, the more likely that they are to push that off button. And if you're not successful, you're not contributing to your team. And then people, bitch at you because you're not buying points, you're not spending points, and, you're doing the wrong thing. So you got to be very careful. And I don't mean like people, I mean like your teammates. Nice guy, why aren't you buying tanks? Where's your frontline units? Well, I need to wait. Why you need to wait? I'm getting smoked. I'm like, well, if I don't wait, then I'm going to get smoked too. So can you back up? No, I'm not backing up. I'm holding this point. I'm doing better. I'm trying to play the game. I just got off work. And everything that makes the game successful and interesting works against it. Infantry in general just need more ammunition. Give us more ammunition, or allow us to put some supplies in buildings. Brother, every single fucking vehicle in the game has backpacks on the side and ammo cans in the back. Okay, maybe not that one, but you know what I mean. Any realistic vehicle has some storage. I'm not gonna lie, I forget where I saw those backpacks, but you know what I mean. Look at it. Look, now I gotta look up a fucking picture of an actual vehicle. This is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you do. I already showed that one. This is what you do. Not to mention you put stuff in the back. There's storage around. That one's generally pretty clean. You bring stuff with you. Let us put some supplies in the fucking buildings. Let us bring more than, oh, I don't know, 4 rounds, for the love of God. Or 6. Or 5. 4. 4. Oh no, I have 3 javelins. Maybe I'll kill a vehicle. It's just like, what the fuck? The thing with the Bradley Shorads, with the Hellfires, is that's your snipe capability. When you turn the radar on, you're able to reach out and touch those helicopters from a distance. You can't do that with Stingers. So it's still useful. It's still a mental game that you're playing with that Russian player that's trying to sneak helicopters up when you have that Hellfire that you're able to possibly hit when they run out of their flares. If it hits it, it's going to one-shot their helicopter. You need to have that, especially with its staggering capability between if you have the man pads, which are going to still be able to reach, especially with the Stinger Js, they're still going to be able to reach out to that distance. And then you have your Shorad that's in the back that can still reach out and touch them if they need to. So it's personal preference. You do you. If you want to push their face with Stingers, that's more effective. That's actually better, which is why the Striker Shorad is as effective as it is, because it has both. It has the Hellfires and the Stingers, but then it doesn't get smoke. So then that's a problem in and of itself. And so you can do that, but then you completely remove your ability to then snipe those helicopters. And then if they're an intelligent helicopter player, especially as Russia, they're going to get cheeky with you. And if they're in a team stack, they're going to tell their friends, hey, this guy over here doesn't have Hellfire Shorads. They're going to bring up some of their own ATGM helicopters. Okay, so let's do this. I mean, I did just show just the Stingers, which ended up being pretty effective. No, this is 8. No, you know what? Fuck it. We'll do 8. And this is the best case scenario. We got Rangers. We got Mech Riflemen. We got Pararescue. Now, what you can do is you can bring one more. You can bring one more set of Mech Riflemen. You can bring one more Pararescue if you want. So there's 8. And they are 6 of them the best Stingers that you can possibly bring. They might stop this. They might. But there's a reason why I'm only doing this. Almost did. Did you notice how much they missed? They love to miss still. If you need to stop a helicopter, it's not the amount of ammunition, it's the amount of tries to kill that as quickly as you possibly can. That is what's important. This helicopter might have just breached your line. It might have a line of sight on your Patriot system. It might have a line of sight on a couple of M270s or friends 270s. You have seconds to kill that thing. And not only that, but it even let them still get through. That is what's important. When people push these helicopters until they start doing this, you do not have enough ability to stop them. And now they're out of ammunition after like 4 or 5. That's why I had 8 Stingers in that deck. And that's even the best case scenario. Let's do it even better. Let's make it all the best Stingers that you can possibly bring as the United States. I can do this about every single unit and meta and thing in the game. I can break it down like this and explain it when I have to. And then eventually everybody's going to be like, okay, maybe you were right about Stingers. Okay, maybe you were right about the fucking seed missiles. Okay, maybe you were right about tanks. Okay, maybe you were right about fucking the artillery. Okay, maybe you were right about the helicopter rushes. Okay, maybe you were right about smoke. Like, what? There's very specific things that need to happen, and then this ends up being the non-issue. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It took like 7, I think, to kill that one. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 16 back there somewhere. That was 16 stingers to kill. What did I use? 3 or 4? Excited about the hardest score otherwise? Yeah, dude, I'm going to play a lot. I'm just making sure I want to try and get what I can done here with this. 18, 19, 20-ish, 20, 21. 22. 23-ish, 24, something like that. A video I posted the other day when I was playing with Vulcan was on the same map where I did this, and if you don't do the absolute just heli rush, what you will do is eventually slow burn. Because no matter who this player is, they are not resupplying these stinger teams. You don't have the ability to. So even using half of the capability, or maybe even a third of the capability that we had when we did our heli rush, which ended up still working anyway, if you slow burn them, they're gonna miss enough to run out of ammunition. Be scared of Russian helicopters, because when people actually learn how to play with them, they're not stoppable. Does that take away from the coolness of the deck, especially when you're playing with friends? No. This is a very good deck. It might even be the best deck in the game because of what you can do. But you need to have effective teammates or you're going to get rolled. You are. You need to play with friends and you're going to have a good time. So this is literally, as I explained before, this is tank with Sentinel, or tanks and Sentinel. You're pushing the same way that you've seen me push with tanks all the time. You can do a little bit of AA if you need to. You have the shore ride that you need to be able to push with tanks and to cover yourself with the between the man pads and the shore rides. You have the 270 so that you can do a bit of sniping on your own if you want, and you can also do a bit of frontline prep if you want to. If you see a stack of T80s or something that you want to roll through. You have a little bit of danger when it comes to the helicopters that you have around. Something that's helpful. Stealthy helicopters. You can also do the behind the lines stuff if you would like. There's some other stuff going on with that. Green berets with the flashes to be able to help with anti-infantry. You got your own sentinels to help contribute to the team. Anti-infantry, anti-vehicle, shorad, and anti-infantry. Shorad. Shorad and mega anti-infantry. Not mega, but still solid anti-infantry. Is that a marksman rifle? It is. They also get a marksman rifle, so that's pretty useful. Great deck. This might be my favorite armored SF. This one in particular, I bring the Iron Thunders. A lot of Russian players don't know how to use their SAMs, where to put them. They are going to be within range of your Iron Thunders. Use it. Use your Iron Thunders against Russian SAMs, guys. Do it, especially when you're playing as a team. I've been getting very successful with the Spooky. It's actually, dare I say, spooky. You can get through with the Spooky nowadays. I don't know if people just forgot about it. I don't know if people are getting worse at prepping for it and looking for it. But I've been getting pretty successful with the Spooky recently. And it is quite spooky. Gimler is pretty much the same stuff that I have before, except this is more of like a infantry-centric deck. Like push with the infantry. You'll see some more infantry in this than the other ones. And you can still do a bit of the tank thing that you want to do. It's just that I brought the Breacher because that's very scary against other infantry. I brought a couple of more cheaper tanks so that if they start to come after me with their ATGMs and stuff like that, chances are they're going to see the Abram icon and think that it's a V3 or a V2. When surprised, it's much cheaper and I can throw it away. And generally speaking, if I use it the way that I think I'm going to use it or the way that I would like to use it, it's probably going to have about the same effect. Flashes, stingers, Maws, snipers, sentinel, very effective. But primarily, you are lightly pushing the front line while making sure to keep your Iron Thunders alive and taking out the SAM systems on the other team. I dropped my first nuke with this the other day, and per normal fashion with any nukes in the game, I killed a lot of my teammates, and I barely killed anything on the other team, and then the B2 got shot down. The nuke is still the nuke. It's still very rarely effective, but damn is it fun to drop it. Also, I forgot, even though I called out to my teammate who was in text chat, I called out that I'm about to drop a nuke on where all those tanks were. Guess what they did? The only thing they did was they went and bought an F-15E and then cluster bombed the thing that I was about to nuke anyway. So they got all the kills. So all I did was call out where a bunch of tanks were that they could go kill. And then they were like, see, the F-15E is much more effective than the Nuke. And I'm like, motherfucker, I've been saying that for 3 months, but I didn't drop a Nuke, and I was finally about to drop my first Nuke just to say that I could, and then they took away the fucking kills. I fucking know the F-15 is more effective. I've been saying it for a fucking month. And so is the SB-24. No shit. I just wanted to drop a fucking Nuke. God damn it. Anyway. So yeah, this is you can get through with the Nuke, and then basically it's your other obviously more infantry with this deck as well. So you can keep that in mind. But it's an Armored SF deck. Armored SF, you got your tanks, you got your infantry, you've got your reconnaissance, you've got your sentinel, you got your gimblers, you got your Iron Thunder, you have not enough Shorad to stop the off switch, which is what I just explained to you guys, but it's a cool deck. Delta Force, I don't know if I want to keep using them. I think there's a world where I would rather have, 1.5 Ranger teams, or no. Yeah, 1.5 Ranger teams than having a single Delta Force. I think that there is a world where that makes sense. Truly. I do. Especially when they're spammed the way that they're spammed. It's not like they're bad, but still. I think that there's a world where that makes sense. Especially when you have other supporting units around it, too. Again, I don't even know if I need this deck. Essentially, this is a support specific SF armored deck where this is used. The Stormbreakers are there. This Raptor is strictly just there with the Stormbreakers to go after like smaller arty targets, supply depots, things like that. Watch out for, if I was doing a mirror match, if this was US versus US, I would use this deck probably most of the time because I need something that's going to be able to spot their stealth drones, which I can do with this. And then also the F-35 with the 2,000 pounders because they're great. Also, I need to be able to counter their Gimblers if I can with these, and I need to try and stay a little bit more sporadic. So this would be useful. Bait with the spookies. Kill. Supply. Unfortunately, supply sucks as well. You don't get a supply truck. You get to use this. You have to use the Chinooks or the what's it called, Osprey. However, the Blackhawks, fantastic. You still get 4,000 points, and I think even with airborne, but don't use airborne. It's also solid as well. Maybe 4,500 if I'm correct. Am I correct? Is it 4,500? No, still 4,000, but it's still really good. It's really good. Like, that's nice, quick, a lot of supply to your front line when you need it. And I think this was the very first Armored SF deck that I've ever made. It was. This was the very first one that I ever made. So this is where my brain was at. Which is about the same. So I brought some more Pack 2s. I was a little bit more scared about planes. But generally speaking, if you just don't really worry about it too much. I'd rather bring more supply with me. And these probably still have APS, don't they? They do. I was still using APS with these. I don't know if I would have 3 SEPs. It can work. And this is flat SEP. So this is the V1 SEP, essentially. Or literally, but you know what I mean. Are these Hellfires? No, these are still daggers. Okay. And I probably got JSOWs on these. Yeah, I do. It was fun using this the way that I used it, but I don't want this over my other decks. So we're going to sunset my very first Armor SF deck ever. Thank you for your service. I have adapted. I've adapted my gameplay in each of these. Yes, you're still good. We love you. Thank you for your service. We're gonna retire you. Thank you, friend. Goodbye. I would much rather use this one or this one, which is the whole point. You adapt over time. This is a meme deck. And this is, if I play with a team stack, I think I can be pretty effective with this. But at the same time, it's like, oh, dude, it's even this. It's like almost exactly the same. What would I do differently here? We have one that is basically my armored deck that I then use my SF deck capability to amplify. And then I have a supporting role armored deck where I'm not pushing the front line. I am supporting a friend that is pushing the front line. And if they make a mistake with their tanks, I'm able to fill in. But primarily, I am supporting. I'm bringing in infantry to hold the line. I'm doing the recon sneaky shit. And I'm bringing my sentinels. Yeah. So those are primarily my 2 actual armored SF decks right there. So we'll do a quick run through. I am live right now, so for anybody that's confused, what I'm doing right now is this is going to be a clip that I'm going to be using. So that is what I have there. So when you guys are watching this video, you can pause, you can slow down, you can see exactly what I'm bringing, but in most of these cases, you should probably understand what I'm bringing anyway. These are all maxed out, essentially. I probably don't have... Yeah, I don't have APS on these to make them as cheap as possible. We've got the pack 2. We've got as many short ride as we can bring. We got the Pivads, Gimlers, a little bit of supply. Comanche, as cheap as possible. Guardian, Split, Soar, Egg, Raptor, F-35. I am deep in contemplation about what to do about the JSOW, but for now I think we're going to keep it, because even though it doesn't kill the thing, if you go into the fight understanding that I am not going to kill these things that I'm about to drop these things on, but they're going to be hella fucking hurt to the point where they're not going to fucking win that fight, and then I call out to a teammate, or I am then ready myself to then come in and kill them, it's good to go. It's just a little bit awkward that you need to spend that many points and not actually do the thing that you would actually like to be able to do. It's just a little awkward. This is... Oh, I didn't know that happens. Hey! Has that always been there? Guys, that straight up just brings up your folder when you click that. That straight up just brings in... I've had a lot of people saying, like, where's the folder? I can't find the folder. That, just click that and it automatically brings it up. I just noticed that. Goddamn. And that was a misclick, too. Nice. Here's the meme deck. It's kind of like a combination of the other two, except obviously I don't have the planes, because realistically, any of you guys can do this when you're playing as a team stack. Any of you can just take one of these decks and then just take your planes out, because that's 1,000 points. Just take your planes out and just put a nuke in there if you want. And then if you're playing as a team stack, this is the easiest way to nuke anything in the game. Put up some planes, figure out if they have too much AA. Do they have a plane up? No. Nuke it with the B2. That's how you get a B2 through. If they don't have a plane up, they're not going to notice it in time. They're not. So all you need to do is make sure they don't have a plane up by either getting them to use theirs, making them spend their points elsewhere, or kill them. Go nuke what you want, and it will get through. You just need to float the points, which you can do if you do a supporting role, which is also very effective in this case, because you can just here and there put your tanks up. Hell, you can even throw these tanks away if you want, which is going to take significant amount of effort from the enemy team, and also it's going to take a lot of fucking bodies with them when you do that. You throw you throw a Set V3 that's properly supported at a front line, it's going to fucking wreck house. And you might even shoot a couple of their planes down that are going to clearly come and try to kill it, like I explained in my masterclass video. And then you come in with a nuke and whatever is left. And guess what? You now have a front line to yourself. Or, I mean, what I mean is you have a... what's it called when you create a pocket, maybe? But is that the right word? You create a gap. You've forced open a gap in the front line, I guess, essentially is what I'm looking for. I'm trying to talk about. So, yeah. That is Armored SF. I have a lot of fun with this deck. I do not suggest that you play it solo. I don't suggest you play the game at all solo. So if you are playing solo, I don't suggest that you try to use it. I've had significant difficulty trying to use it as a solo player, even with what I understand about the game. It's not useless, but the things that are going to make you fold is amplified by having bad teammates, and there's a lot of bad teammates. There's a lot of bad teammates out there in the solo queue. So go find people to play with and have fun using this with those people. Otherwise, don't use it. As I've explained. Thank you very much for watching. Click all the buttons on the screen to support what I do. Otherwise, hope you have a nice day. See you guys.